Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back. It is week 7. So we only have 2 more weeks until the course is over. As usual, I'm going to walk you through what's going on this week and hopefully give you some helpful hints and tricks and tips for finishing this particular week well. So I'm going to share a couple of screens here, including a Word document so that I can show you some stuff. But first, of course, we will take a look at the unit. So we're entering Unit 7, which means we're talking about the power of bias in language. Bias, of course, has some negative connotations to it, but really all of us have biases. Some biases are even positive. Any human is going to be biased. And so communication is often also biased. So that's what we're focusing on this week. As usual, you want to go through all of the articles, websites, and videos. There are several links here. One to an article in the Salem Press Encyclopedia about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then an article from ThoughtCo on biased language with definitions and examples. There's also some videos to take a look at, an introduction to unconscious bias, breaking biases, and how we can unlearn things. And then finally, conversation about biases and how we can be more inclusive. In the practice with writing section, you will have another 8-unit little mini course within the Blackboard here to complete. You want to start at the beginning and work your way all the way through that before you write your paper or your journal for this week. Unit 7 involves a short paper, so we will open this, and you should also open, maybe download, maybe save, maybe print out the assignment sheet. In the previous unit, you considered a writer's position on diversity, equity, and inclusion within their workplace. Now you will explore your own ideas surrounding diversity, equity, and inclusion to create a short paper on the subjects. Review the articles in this unit's readings and resources and select just one of the articles to use in your short paper. Your paper is going to have 3 separate paragraphs that answers the questions below, and you will notice there are 3 paragraphs to cover, 3 questions to cover within each of those paragraphs. Your answer to each question should be 1 paragraph in length, and each of those paragraphs should be at least 6 sentences long. In the first paragraph, you're going to explain how you define diversity, equity, and inclusion. What do these terms mean to you, and why would you consider them to be important? In paragraph 2, what do you view to be the most important strategy to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion? Write in this paragraph evidence from one of the articles. Use evidence from the articles. Select only one of the articles from this week's readings. Use a direct quotation from the article to support your answer to the above question. When citing an article, so right after the quote, you will have little parentheses that have the author's last name, the year, and the page number, if there is a page number. If you use the article from Salem Press Encyclopedia, you will include, there's no author, so you would have the title, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, 2021, and there's no page numbers, but you would have a paragraph number. So you notice the difference. P period equals page number, PARA period equals paragraph number, and then you would have the actual number there. In paragraph 3, end the paper by answering this question: how do you think bias in language affects your views on diversity and inclusion? In the references page, so you will have a cover page, you will have the 3 paragraphs starting on page 2, and then whatever your next blank page is would be the references page. Take the reference from the article you selected under readings and resources and put it in a separate page titled references. It will be the final page of your assignment. You will do this in a Word document, and I've sent you guys several times the Word template in APA format that has a title page and is double spaced, 1-inch margins, and uses a standard font. Times New Roman 12 is the most common. You will also have a references page in APA format for that selected article. Write 3 paragraphs following the above directions, and then in that middle paragraph, you're going to have at least one direct quote with an in-text citation after the quote. The quote should be from one article in the readings and resources for this unit. The grading, of course, the rubric is also on here, so take a look at that both before and after when you are ready to turn it in. So I'm going to go to the Word document really quickly and remind you that this is what it's going to look like. You will have your cover page. You will have the paragraphs themselves. There will be 3 of them total. And then you will have one article on the reference page. Within that quoted piece of information, you can see it right here. According to the article, this will be different because you're going to be using a specific one, but it'll have the author or the title if it's the Salem Press one, the year, and then page number or paragraph number, depending on which source you are quoting. All right, so that's what it's going to look like. And then your only other assignment is your journal for Unit 7. So let's go back to the Unit 7 and look at the journal entry. In your journal this week, write an entry that identifies and explains bias in language. What is it? How does bias create problems in communication? What steps can you take to avoid bias in language? And as usual, it points out that this should really be your very last thing that you do so that you can reflect upon not only the readings and resources, but also having written the short paper. Okay. One quick thing about turning in the paper, when you are ready to submit it, you just click on this link and you are going to browse local files. Ignore write submission. Ignore it, ignore it, ignore it. You do not want to just write it in a box. You want to browse your local files, and then you want to attach the actual document. So I'm going to use the template here, and you'll notice it will upload, shows right here. And then you need to click on the I agree to submit my paper to the global reference database, and you will hit submit. Do not write your paragraphs in the comment box. You absolutely have to do an attached document. If you don't, I'm going to have you redo it. Okay. So that's where you are this week. If you have any questions, please reach out, and I will see you next week for our very final week of class. Everybody take care and have a great week.